Hello, my Tesla maniacs. I just wanted to make a very quick video here. This is actually my first video for this channel. Well, regarding the Model 3 anyway. The Model 3 ordering form and prices are now available to order in the UK. Finally, after waiting for, well, effectively 3 years, I've had a reservation down for about a year on one. But yesterday morning I woke up and looked at my phone and found that I had an email saying that I could now order my Model 3. So here we are on the home page of Tesla. I sort of have had a reservation fee down for quite some time, but now we can actually make an order. Let's have a look at some of the prices and packages, etc. See what they're actually doing, because that's been something that's been on my mind for a while. What are they going to price it at? So the speed, etc. Obviously, that's the performance one. Now, this is different to America. They got here 329 miles plus. This is WLTP. I believe in America they use something which is more closer to real world, but what I have been told is you're more likely to get about 300 miles on a good day out of one of these things. In the winter, I've seen reports where people have lost as much as 41% range in the winter. So yeah, you can nearly half that. So if you're looking at an electric car, it's your first time looking at an electric car, just be prepared that although they have many advantages, the one thing which does catch them off guard is the fact that in the winter the range will drop substantially because naturally, first of all, batteries don't like the cold. They tend to operate less efficiently in the cold. And on top of that, you tend to use things like the heaters more. The nights, at least in the UK, they're longer and darker, so you're going to be using lights more, bad weather, windscreen wipers. I mean, they're little things, but they all add up. The battery hit on the cold is the biggest one. But anyway, now we know that we can now order a Model 3 in the UK, and I haven't got to try doing the price conversion, which is what I've been doing up until this point to get a ballpark figure. I've been trying to go onto the Germany website, get it the price in euros, and then converting it over to UK. So what have we got here? Here we are on the initial ordering page for the Model 3. We've got the Standard Range Plus, so it's starting at £38,050, which I believe that price there, let's just have a look. Actually, it's got a cash that actually I do believe incorporates the UK grant of £3,500 plug-in. So the government will put £3,500 towards any brand new EV vehicle. That includes Teslas. This price here is good, and it's just a shade under 40,000. Which is important for the UK because in the UK, any car over £40,000 will incorporate a luxury car road tax, which basically means you pay £310 per year for 5 years after you've bought the vehicle, and that's on top of the regular tax. So if you've got a luxury class sort of Land Rover, let's say, you're going to be paying the £310 each year plus the gas guzzling tax that it would pay anyway on top of that. So it can work out quite a bit of money. But that is obviously if you just literally have no options whatsoever added on. Let's just keep moving through. They've got the long range one. This is going to be the all-wheel drive dual motor variant. This is what I was more looking at because in the UK we can have some inclement weather. It is really hit and miss though in the UK. It goes all over the place. Sometimes we have very mild winters, sometimes we have extremely harsh winters, but the main thing that I wanted out of long range and all-wheel drive is the long range battery. It's important to me because I do quite a lot of mileage. I do quite a lot of mileage. So if I was going to get one, it's going to have to be the long range battery. You got the performance one here, 56,050. So we're talking some serious money, and this is with no optional extras like paint or autopilot or anything like that. You are in with both of these now into the bracket of the luxury car tax. So you are going to be paying £310, I think it is, a year on top of what if you do finance as well. So it's quite a bit of money, but it's a little bit more than what I anticipated. I mean, if you take the price in America and then convert it from dollars into pounds, you know, people were expecting this to the £35,000 $35,000 standard range Model 3 to be about £26,000, but obviously, well, it's never going to happen. This is the UK, everything's expensive and overpriced, typically speaking. Plus, you've got the import tax, and they've got to ship it over from California as well. So it's, I think the actual tax and docks fee, just shipping and docks fee was £850, which I believe is less, because I think in America I've been watching videos where people have been paying £1,000 for just the paperwork and stuff. So sorry, $1,000. I've got to get my pounds and dollars straight. So yeah, long range, that's probably what I'm looking at. Let's have a look at the exterior. Now this is what it would look like if you went for that one. It's all black with black wheels. Truth be told, to me, it's too much black going on there. You can barely see any definition in the car. I'm not a major fan of that. Black interior, black exterior, black wheels. I'm not a fan of the aero wheels. They look a little bit better if you take the hubcaps off. They have got like an alloy under there, but I'm still not 100% over keen on it. I, truth be told, do prefer these ones. And even straight away there, just putting those wheels on makes the black model look so much nicer. The only colour included for free is black. And you've got, so these 18-inch aero wheels are included as well, but I don't like them that much. Once you go off the black paint, you start adding on cost here, £950 for the Midnight Silver. You've got Deep Blue Metallic, again, is also £950. I know a few people that like this one. I'm not a major fan of it. It's okay. Truth be told, for me, it's red or white. $1,450 for that one, and $1,900. Now this is something I have noticed though. Recently I've been keeping an eye on the Tesla website, and the red paint was £2,500 and this white was £2,000. So they've knocked about 600 quid off, give or take, depending on which paint you're going with there, since the Model 3 came out, which is interesting. Quite obviously it's good news for us, but it's still more expensive overall. Okay, now black interior. Here's the interior section. I love the black interior. I love the wooden piece of dashboard. I did go and sit in the first Model 3 in the UK, which was at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. I think it was summer last year. They shipped one in from America, so it was a left-hand drive seating car. Bit of a shame, but obviously it still gave the overall impression of the quality and the size of the car. I got to actually feel the materials, etc., etc. It was brilliant. I'll actually try and include some video footage from that. I only filmed it on my phone. We literally were allowed 2 minutes on the exterior of the car and 2 minutes on the interior of the car. They were expecting such a high level of demand, so it was, yeah, I'm kind of waving my phone around quite a lot, so I do apologise. So the black interior is included. It's very calming. That's what I love about this interior. It's really calming. You've got that lovely piece of wood. It almost feels very earth-like and green. You've got a natural piece of wood in there, and I have felt it. It does feel like wood. It doesn't feel like a print or some of these like old Jaguars where they have this weird sort of marbly wood effect that's then being heavily glossed. That genuinely feels like a piece of wood. The black and white interior. I love the white seats. I'm not 100% sure on these white panels. I don't know if they're going to start getting filthy black or dirty very quickly. The one thing I don't like is this dash. I feel it's too bright, it's too in your face, it's too sort of like, rah! So I personally don't like the white dash. And if I went for the black and white interior, I think I would either wrap the dash, or I would see if anyone wants to do a dash swap. I'm curious to see what this would look like with the wood. It's hard for me to picture it. I don't know why, I'm really struggling to picture it, but I don't know, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Going back a little bit as well, the standard range, you do lose out on some of the premium products here. So with the standard range, you only get the partial premium. So you get 12-way power adjustable seats. Obviously it says seat trim premium. Upgraded audio, immersive sound. I don't really know what the difference is between that and the premium audio, which comes with the all-wheel drive or the performance one, in which you get 14 speakers, 1 subwoofer and 2 amplifiers, and immersive sound. I believe the immersive sound is an option you can turn on and off on the settings. But yeah, what we got here, the premium or is it immersive, upgraded audio? I think, well, it's just standard. I don't really know. I'm not sure if it's been limited somehow, the sound audio, whether it's they've actually like taken out some of the speakers. Right, so here it says standard maps and navigation. So with the premium one, you get the satellite view maps with live traffic visualization and navigation. So basically, you get traffic on the maps as well, so you can see where the traffic hotspots are, where with the standard one you don't. Satellite view, so I'm assuming that's the sort of like, well, the satellite view being the Google Maps satellite imagery, where I'm guessing the standard maps is you don't get to sort of see all the grass and the trees and the buildings. It just has, here's a line where a road is, kind of thing. Yeah, center console storage, 4 USB ports docking for 2 smartphones. Same here. LED fog lights, LED fog lights. Yep. Location aware automatic garage door opener. Typically in the UK, most UK homes do not have this. And this is what I'm trying to focus on this channel a little bit. The differences between UK and, say, the States, where I've been looking at videos for the last 2 years on like Model 3 and Teslas. There's certain things that just aren't the same, weather being one of them, and two, charging. We don't have, like, a lot of homes in America, and don't, I'm not stereotyping here, I know a lot of them aren't, but a lot of them, when I go to the States, because I love the States, you often go down a street and every house has its own driveway, and every house is like, completely different to the one next to it. And I find that in the UK, we don't have that. Typically, you might find someone's house with a pathway in front of it, which is for normal pedestrians walking by, and then the road, and you may end up having to park on the road. There's a lot of flats, apartments. Houses are expensive in the UK, like really expensive. So it's not brilliant for electric vehicles at the moment in the UK. There is charging infrastructure, but typically you're going to have to go to work, come home from work, and then you might have to take a detour and sit at a charging station, a public charging station, for 30 minutes to possibly even an hour, depending on where you are and what kind of car you've got and what condition your battery's in, whether it's cold or not. So in the UK, it's a bit more challenging. I'm going to take on this challenge, and I live in rented accommodation. It is a house. It is possible for me to put a charger on the side of the house, but it doesn't have its own dedicated driveway. It's public parking. So yeah, I'm going to see how this works out with me, and whether it's going to be possible to actually have an electric car with ease. I do pass a few supercharger stations as well to and from work, which is amazing as well, because I can always try and top up there. But again, it's not something I want to do when I'm either heading into work, having to leave like an hour earlier, or on the way home from work when I'm knackered, just having to like take a detour and go and sit in the charger. But the Teslas, they look quite comfortable. I think it's quite possible that I could sit in the car and chill out for a little bit, and maybe even take my computer with me and do some work in the car. I'm thinking about even buying one of those little electric kettles with the cigarette lighter, 12-volt plugs on the end, so I could even make myself a cup of tea in the car, because that's what British people do. They drink tea. Anyway, moving on, because I spent too much time on that. So yeah, there's your interior. So where are we at now? We're on, let's go to the long range, because this is going to be the most practical one for the UK. You've got to take a hit with the power in the cold, inclement weather. So you're going to want the longest range you can get. That's kind of like the config I like. Let's stick with the white on white, just to push out. Right, autopilot. Okay, so right, autopilot since recently has now been included on all Teslas. The hardware was always there anyway, whether you bought it or not, and the cars are always learning about your driving styles and learning the roads as you drive them, whether you had autopilot previously bought or not. But now it's coming included anyway as initiated. It's activated when you buy the car. You can't opt to not have it. And standard autopilot will enable your car to steer, accelerate, and brake automatically for other vehicles and pedestrians within its lane. That's basically it. Basically, it's a lane-keeping cruise control it's got traffic aware cruise control, so it will not only like brake if the car in front brakes on, say, the motorway, but it'll also steer to keep you within the lines on the motorway. And you can do it on certain A roads, I believe, or most A roads. It's all right working, and B roads you're starting to get into dangerous territory here, because the latest advancements that Elon Musk demonstrated at the recent event have not been rolled out to the UK yet. We seem to be about 6 months behind the US, so whatever you see on there is we're a little bit behind them. You can opt to have the full self-driving capability. Right, this has got navigate on autopilot. It says automatic driving from motorway, on-ramp to off-ramp, including interchanges and overtaking slower cars, auto lane change, automatic lane changes while driving on a motorway, auto park, that's the both parallel and perpendicular parking. Now that, I believe, did actually come on the original standard autopilot, but they seem to, in a bid to try and push us to buy the full self-driving capability, they put that up there. And Summon as well. Summon was also on, I believe, the standard autopilot, and again they've now pushed it down to the full self-driving, so you can't summon unless you pay this additional £4,900. Yeah, Summon, your parked car will come and find you anywhere. This is the advanced Summon, yeah. Coming later this year, recognise and respond to traffic lights and stop signs. That's going to be interesting in the UK, because, again, not stereotyping, but I find driving on American roads so much easier than it is in the UK. And especially if you start heading into London, I do not like driving in London and will avoid it at all costs. The road infrastructure there is just disgraceful. I mean, you can come off a roundabout, and as you're coming off it, you find yourself, there are 2 lanes coming off the roundabout, but almost instantly it will merge into one. So you're only just coming off the roundabout, and already, like within literally 20 feet, the road's starting to merge, and I don't know, and people are stressed and they get aggressive, and it's kind of like if you don't know where you're going and you hold the traffic up at all, then they get stressed out with you, and you've got to know where you're going, otherwise you're going to start getting people hassling you. What's this? Automatic driving on city streets. I'm assuming that's to do with the self-navigation. If you don't set this option and you decide to have it at a later point, £6,800 on top of that. So yeah, it is kind of expensive there, and I don't really know. It depends on your circumstances, obviously, whether you can afford this or whether you want just an electric car. Tesla prices are constantly changing. You might find that this comes down. If you don't opt for it, often I've seen in the past that people in the States have had the option to do a trial run. Sometimes I throw out a trial run, and then they will give you the option to purchase it at a discounted rate afterwards. So, I mean, Summon looks awesome. I don't know how practical it's going to be. Initial videos of the advanced Summon of people using it in car parks is kind of slow, but if you're disabled or you've got like you come out of like a shopping shop, like a supermarket, and it's chucking down with rain, you could call the car over to you and minimise that amount of time that you're stood in the rain or having to try and get yourself over to the vehicle if you've got any sort of disability. And it's a bit difficult to navigate, the car park. Again, with the UK, space is at a premium, so car parking can be a bit of a nightmare, depending on where you are. So yeah, if we add all that up, actually, shall we just see what it looks like with the full self-driving option? So yeah, I mean, there we're looking at 56,650 for this one here. That's a Model 3 long range dual motor all-wheel drive, so that's pretty powerful, I believe. It's going to have good traction as well for those sort of cold winters or when we have heavy downpours. Pearl white paint, 19-inch sport wheels, which I think look nice. Black and white premium interior, yeah, autopilot. So basically, it's nearly every single purchase option ticked, and you get a cash price of $56,000. That includes there you go, a destination and documentation fee of $850, which I believe is less than the US. I think they pay $1,000. Includes a $3,500 UK plug-in car grant. Yeah, I mean, considering actually we're getting this shipped all the way from California, that's a really good value. unless they're incorporating some of it in the price. Probably they are, actually, because this is more than the US conversion. If you convert the US version of this into Great British pounds, you're probably looking at about, I don't know, 45,000 to 48,000 pounds from dollars. But yeah, so there's definitely been a bit of a hike there in the price, so that probably covers a lot of that sort of transferring the vehicle over from the US on the big carriers, the big ships. So you got to pay a £2,000 fee today. That's just to obviously that comes off the value of the car. That's just to put your deposit down and get the car rolling. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to go for a base one, let's have a look at the base. Just knocking everything off here. We'll get rid of autopilot as well. Yeah, so there you go. It does work out at £38,900, which means yes, you can have a Model 3 for less than the £40,000, which is the limit for the luxury car road tax. Anything more than 40, and you're paying for £310 for a luxury car road tax a year, which is not great, but yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd give a quick overview of the pricing structure. Now we know what it is. I'd love to hear any comments below of if you're ordering a Model 3, has the pricing and what you get with it put you off buying a Model 3? Did you have a reservation? And if you are ordering one, what config have you gone for? Anyway, this is my very first video regarding this. I hope to make a lot more videos based on the Model 3. And yeah, please subscribe, please comment down below, give me a like if you fancy it, and yeah, hopefully this has been an informative video for you guys. Catch you soon.